So Transformers Fan First Friday on February 4th, 2022 has just concluded, and we were promised 14 product reveals. Didn't mean they would be 14 new product reveals. It ended up becoming 15 product reveals due to some interesting mismanagement and liner notes, I guess. We were brought today by marketing's Evan and Isabella. Isabella handles the franchise marketing. Ben handles just the basic marketing, along with the design manager, Sam, and the other two Transformer designers of Mark and Evan, the fan favorites. Now, there was a lot of stuff that was shown here, but unfortunately, due to all the stuff that leaked throughout the past couple of weeks, not a lot of it was new stuff to us. But there was a few new items that were shown to us, and we will discuss those today and the comments about those items on an engineering and design standpoint by both Mark and Evan. And then we'll probably do a second segment after we do this one, just kind of going over everything overall, some of the stuff that Isabella covered on in terms of franchise-related stuff and everything. And then we'll kind of just conclude it with that, and hopefully maybe we'll get some more information before we do our live stream on Saturday tomorrow. There was one Walmart Beast Wars Retro reissue item that they didn't mention that was shown through In-Demand Toys, but we'll talk about that in the second segment after this one today. You'll get that segment later today. So let's jump into that. So the two items that were brand new out of everything that was shown here to us was two Studio Series items, one of them from Studio Series 86, and the other one, which wasn't a surprise really that it was going to happen, but it was inevitable, a Studio Series Bumblebee movie one, and it was that of Studio Series Bumblebee Ironhide, a partial retool from that of the Studio Series Ratchet that we already have gotten and seen, and of course, a Studio Series 86 Dinobot member in Sludge. So we'll go quickly through Ironhide, and then we'll cover more Sludge because there's a little more interesting stuff to cover with that one and take apart. So again, Studio Series 86 Ironhide, pretty much a given that he was going to be coming and be one of the newer ones that we were going to get because he's of his ease of design, as opposed to some of the other characters that appeared in that Cybertronian scene that would require brand new molds. Again, retool of Ratchet, just kind of has less in terms of the light bar and stuff like that. Brand new head sculpt to match Ironhide. According to Mark, getting the deco to match the original G1. So it has the yellow deco on the side to match the old Toyota 1 van or the Mitsubishi van, depending on which version was drawn at which moment. Of course, the Mitsubishi being the Diaclone mold. And not much else really to take from that. Again, it's exciting that we're getting it, but it's the less exciting one because we knew it was coming and we didn't really have to use much imagination to figure out how that was going to look. So I think the only surprise is we're getting it sooner than we thought. That's about it, really. And the other one that was the interesting one of the bunch and the brand new mold and the real big reveal of this whole thing is the Studio Series 86 Leader Class Sludge. Now, a few things that Evan mentioned that were to note. He says it's finishing our trio of Dinobots. That implies that we don't have any plans for Swoop right now. And Snarl, which also kind of had a limited amount of appearances in the 86 movie, in a blink you'll miss it kind of thing. No plans for Snarl in the immediate future. So as it stands right now, these are our three Dinobots, at least according to Evan. And what's also interesting about this, and it probably has to do more with the plastic budget and how much this big, Brontosaurus chunky Dinobot is, Grimlock, we had a partner in an exosuit, Daniel. Then we had, of course, Sludge. We didn't have Daniel, we had Wheelie. And then Slag, a.k.a. Slug, a.k.a. Triceratops, a.k.a. whatever you want to call him. He came with Daniel. So those two came with these partner figures, and the argument that people were always having is, by having those partner figures, we don't have the swords and stuff like that. I think it really was more just a plastic issue, because now when we get to Sludge here, man, with these Dinobot names, When we get to Sludge, we end up with one of these situations where I guess because there's more plastic involved with this larger, thicker kind of Dinobot figure, there's no partner this time around included. Evan did mention, like, they were testing grounds with, they didn't know how the core class was going to be. I don't know if that's also another reason why the partner was not included, because movie core class is now a thing. Studio Series core class is going to be a thing going forward. But it's still pretty cool. I think he looks fantastic. Sludge is a nice, big, chunky guy, and Evan had a nice shot of the three of them together, showing how they scale with each other, and I think he looks really good. And that's the big reveal, really, of this entire Fan First Friday, is seeing that Sludge design. Comes with his blaster, no sword, nothing else really, but still looks fantastic. Great articulation on the neck, and apparently on the inside of the dino mouth of the Brontosaurus has a peg for the little accessory weapons and energy weapons and stuff like that, so you could use some fire elements. Probably, if I had to recommend, maybe Omega Supremes, or probably Omega Supremes would be really good, or even using the ones that maybe came with the first run of Siege Jetfire, the Commander class. There's a few that I can imagine they'll probably work well with it. I know I probably am forgetting some, but those will probably be two really good ones that could work well with Sludge. But yeah, that's that. And I think the only other really thing to mention of the Studio Series 86 stuff that was news really in a lot of sense was the Core Class Spike figure. It actually has a lever on the back that has a rotating head, so you could turn his head left and right, since you don't really have access to the head inside the bubble of the exosuit. So that's pretty cool too. Everything else isn't really that much news in a sense, so there's not really much else we could kind of break down from that. But that was pretty much it for the Fan First Friday. Everything else was kind of reiterating a product that we already knew, or kind of seeing for the first time packaging for characters and product that we already have seen through all kinds of different leaks and everything. It's kind of a sad truth of how the world we live in right now. There was a mention at one point, I believe it was Evan or Mark, that said, like, they made a mention that that Groundhog Day had not come yet. So this clearly was something, and we knew that these are always pre-recorded, but these were probably pre-recorded before Groundhog Day, which has already passed as of this recording. So they really are trying to play catch up with all the stuff that's been leaking out from the factories and stuff. And it's a shame that they don't get to be the ones to reveal the news and to get everyone excited. And man, that chat, that chat is just brutal. That chat is just absolutely brutal. But yeah, I'll mention some of the other stuff in the second segments. There's little things here and there, but I guess the only other thing that was kind of news was they mentioned that Hasui-san was the one who worked on the Sludge mold. So that was pretty cool. But aside from that, everything else is it is what it is in a lot of ways. And we'll jump into the second segment later today and kind of cover everything else that both Isabella and Sam and Mark and Evan and even Ben covered at the end of the day. And that's it, more or less. So I'll talk to you in the second segment later today. And let me know what you think of the last of the Dinobots, at least for now. Hopefully we'll get Snarl at some point, and of course Swoop. But time will tell with that one.